and welcome to the Carla Knits podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, crocheting, and always all of the yarny goodness that I love. I am coming to you from Nebraska. Today is Thursday, January 27th, and this is episode 41. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back each time. And if you're new, thank you so much for checking this out and stopping by. And if you like what you see, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you consider subscribing to this channel, that would be great. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as cbcraftygirl. And we do have a podcast group on Ravelry. And currently we have a make-along going on. It's a year-long make-along called Love Your Stash Mal Make-Along. And it's to use anything in your stash that was purchased or received, anything in your stash prior to January 1st of this year. So it goes from January 1st to December 31st. More details can be found in the Ravelry group, and links for that and all show notes are found below this video. I will be drawing quarterly prizes. Physical prizes are for U.S. residents, but I'd love to have anyone and everyone participate. So if you are from another country, I can offer up a pattern prize of your choice on Ravelry, should you be selected. There's already lots of chatter going on and lots of finished objects. So great job, guys. Great job using that stash, and I'm enjoying using my stash as well. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, or specifically maybe to this make-along, if you're a yarn dyer or pattern maker, stitch marker maker, bag maker, anything else you can think of, love to, have your prize, offer up prizes to people and show your beautiful works on this podcast. So you can always reach out to me on Instagram or direct message me on Instagram or Ravelry if you'd like to offer up a prize for this podcast. A few things to talk about today. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Okay, very important. The first one I want to share with you. A pattern designer and some yarn dyers and bag makers have teamed up. I received a message from Darcy of Chit Knits. So she designs on Ravelry, and she has designed a couple of patterns and teamed up with these other people, and they are offering products and patterns for the American Heart Association. So patterns, yarn, and bags to be purchased, and the proceeds from the sales of those will go to the American Heart Association. And it's from January 28th to February 28th. Darcy designed a pattern, I believe it's a cowl and a hat pattern. I have a picture of the cowl, which I will insert here. She wrote from the American Heart Association website, "Heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide, and stroke ranks second globally. Even when those conditions don't result in death, they cause disability and diminish quality of life." So I think this is a really neat cause to support. The patterns and the yarns and the bags will become available. Well, I'm recording this on Thursday, but they will become live on Friday, this Friday, the 28th. And it looks like Darcy is also going to be hosting an Instagram knit along using her patterns and probably the yarns as well. So I will have links to her pattern page as well as the people she has teamed up with. It's Toad Hollow Yarns, and then Daisy Stitching Company. So I will have those companies listed down below, and you can get on their websites starting tomorrow or Friday the 28th to see about the patterns and the yarns and maybe support this really good cause. So Darcy, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm definitely going to check out your patterns tomorrow. So excited to support this very, very worthy cause. All right, a little later in the episode, I will be having a little time to answer some questions. I was tagged by Amy of Noble Character Crafts with some questions, so I will be sharing those later in the episode and during chatter time. So for now though, let's go ahead and get into the episode. What I am wearing the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I knit this and I believe it was the end of 2020 and maybe finished it in 2020 or last year, early last year. So the Weekender, this is a worsted weight pattern. The yarn I used is Cascade 220 Superwash in the Myrtle Heather colorway. This is one of my favorite sweaters that I have ever knit because it's very wearable, and I was gonna say it's very neutral. For Carla, for me, it is neutral. It's not crazy. I don't think it's loud color-wise. So I really enjoy wearing this. The only thing, and I have said this before, is that this yarn pills terribly. And yes, I have used a gleaner, and it helps some. It does help some, but it does tend to pill. So that's just the nature of that yarn. But overall, I really, really like this sweater. And I could see myself absolutely knitting another one of the Weekender sweaters. So have you knit this sweater, and do you love it? Is it one of your most worn sweaters? I'd love to hear. There's also a Weekender Light with fingering weight yarn. Maybe you've made that one, so I'd love to hear about that. All right, there are no finished objects today. I don't know, I haven't had too many episodes, I don't think, with at least a half finished object, so it feels really strange not to have anything finished, but I have some works in progress that I will share with you today. So the first is in this cute Valentine bag. This was from a number of years ago by the Freckled Whimsy, and it was a kit that she did along with Legacy Fiber Arts with some Valentine yarn, which I knit those socks up many years ago. But a really cute bag with that print, and then the inside has the Love, Live, Laugh text print. Hopefully you can see that. So a really fun bag to pull out, especially this time of the year, and appropriate with this pattern. It's the 44 Hearts Cowl. This pattern is by Alexandra Davidoff Studios. Let me just see if you can see that. And this is really, really hard to show. As I was knitting this week, I'm like, oh, Carla, you picked a really good one to knit, because nobody's going to be able to tell what you're knitting. It just looks like a nice roughly circle. But it is a cowl, and it has hearts in it. It is very hard to see right now if you can see the texture, which I'm pretty sure you can't, but I'm very certain that it will block out just fine. This feels like such a podcast fail right now. Yeah, this feels like a podcast fail, but the texture is working up. So it's purled, and then the hearts are in the regular knit stitch. And when it is complete, I will block it, and hopefully that pattern will bloom and you'll be able to see. But again, it's a very neutral color, so I definitely do hope that you'll be able to see. You know what? I think I was showing it inside out. Okay. You'll have to let me know if you can see that at all, see any of the texture. at all. But when it's completed and blocked, I will go back and pick one heart and duplicate stitch with this cute little bright red tonal yarn, one of the hearts. So that'll be just like a little pop of color. The yarn is Vice Yarns, which I'm not really familiar with. It's a DK weight yarn. It's a kit that I purchased many years ago from a yarn shop in Omaha. So I thought this was as good a time as any to knit up this heart cowl, thinking about Valentine's Day, and I look forward to finishing this up. I am through 3 repeats of the pattern, and I have one more heart repeat to go, and then a seed stitch border. So it's moving along quite quickly. So maybe the next time we speak, it will be done and hopefully easier to see. Yeah, a podcast fail. I don't know. Just not the easiest thing to show. That just made me think I was having a dream last night about podcasting, and I was in a really grungy sweatshirt, and I had my hair all up crazy and no makeup, and I was podcasting, and I got through the whole podcast and realized that I forgot to put makeup and do my hair and have nice clothes on. So I guess my brain is a little obsessed right now with the podcast. So kind of funny, but first work in progress. I have a couple pairs of socks. The first one is in this bag that I made a couple of years ago. It has the cute spool fabric, and on the inside a bright pop of Carla color, the bright pink. And in this is yarn I showed last week. This is by Bumblebee Acres Farm. It's in an Outlander inspired yarn in the Claire colorway, and this is how it is knitting up. And I'm going to put a beside me picture of the yarn in the hank form, because I guess I don't know exactly how yarns are going to knit up. But this one really took me by surprise because it's really kind of striping. It's absolutely striping. So it really did take me by surprise. And maybe some of you will be like, I knew it was going to do that, but I just have a hard time envisioning that from what it looked like in the hank to this. So I'm really enjoying this yarn. I shared last week, this is a 75-25 blend, but it's a 75% Corriedale, and I have never used Corriedale before. It is a more woolly wool, very warm, a nice plump wool to work with. It reminds me of maybe the sturdiness of a Regia, but not as, it's just soft. It's softer. So it feels like it's the best of both worlds. It's soft, yet it's going to be a sturdy sock. So with the way this is knitting up, I almost think I will knit this pair of socks for Jeff and put in my box for this Christmas this year, because I think he would really enjoy this color. I like this color too, but I think he would like this as a pair of socks. So that's what I'm intending to do. This is just the first sock, and so there's the progress on that. All right, moving right along. So I have 2 socks on the needles, kind of fun. This is a cute bag from a number of years ago, Sandy by the Lakeside. So it's got that cute sweater fabric on the outside, and then these fun polka dots. Hopefully you can see that on the inside. And in this bag, I have this sock that I started this week. This is by Lollipop Yarns. It's a self-striping, and it came in this ball, which is really fun to get. that way. And this colorway is called Charisma, and she has named each of the stripes, and I don't know for certain which color goes with which name, but the overall name of the colorway is Charisma, and then the individual stripes are Captivation, Attraction, Fascination, Charm, It Factor, Appeal, Glamour, and Allure. And she does say the mini with it is, let's see, It Factor. So I do know that the green is It Factor, but as far as the rest of them, I am not sure. But isn't this knitting up fun? I absolutely love this, and it is really fun just to get to the next stripe. And with self-striping yarn, it really is true. Oh, I'll just do one more stripe. Oh, I've started that color. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get to the next stripe. So absolutely love how this is working up. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that, but really fun. I'm really enjoying working on a pair of, or two fingering weight socks. I had shared that the DK weight socks maybe just a little bit harder on my fingers, and I do appreciate some of you sharing what you use to knit your DK weight socks with. So taking a break from DK weight socks for a little while and enjoying working on the fingering weight. It's just nice and easy on the fingers. My last work in progress is my Bean and Olive grown-up sweater. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It is one of my Make 9 patterns. It is a pattern that I've wanted to make since I saw it. So I'm really excited to be working on this now and making steady progress each week. So that is the progress I've made from the stitch marker. I really want the sweater to be done because I really want to wear it, but I just have to be patient. And I am gonna knit the body longer than what they said because it's kind of a slightly cropped sweater, but I'm not, it's not too cropped, but I'm gonna make it longer so it's more wearable for me. But the yarn I'm using, this is Lion Brand, their LB collection merino, Superwash merino, just a gray color. I don't think they had a colorway name, I don't remember. And this is Dragon Hoard yarns in the Lyric colorway. It's a DK weight sweater, don't know if I said that. So color work is done, just working down the body, then I'll work down the sleeves, and at the bottom of the sleeves there is some color work, which I believe is the chevron detail. And I know some people have done the hearts on there. I'm leaning towards doing the chevrons, or I've also leaned on just doing plain sleeves. Not entirely sure yet, but I have some time to figure that out. But I'm really enjoying this sweater. And this yarn is really nice and soft to work with. So really enjoying how this yarn feels. So those are my works in progress for this week. So that, I guess that went by pretty fast. On to some chatter. So a little bit longer in the chatter segment today. A couple things. First, next week we will be celebrating my Podiversary of this podcast. So the date I did my first podcast last year was February 6th. And February 6th falls on a Sunday this year. So my episode that I plan on recording next Friday on the 4th will be the Podiversary episode. So really excited that I've been doing this for a year, and I think all of you who have been a part of this journey, this has been really fun and really exciting for me. I've loved getting to know some of you, interacting with you either on Instagram or in the Ravelry group or in the YouTube comments, participating in make-alongs. It has been really fun. So if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer questions, or if you have comments or suggestions for things, please, kind suggestions, things that maybe you would like to see. Some podcasts go a bit longer. Mine are really kind of short, bite size, but I don't feel like I have a whole lot to talk about regarding my projects each week, just because I do the podcast fairly frequently. I don't really share needle sizes or needle brands. If that's something you would like me to add, I can certainly do that. Sometimes I just feel like needles are very personal to your own gauge, and so what I use might not be what you use for the same project. But suggestions on segments you might want to see on the podcast, that would be great. Any questions you have for me about anything? It could be podcast related, it could be just personal life related, curious about something. You can put those questions either down below in the YouTube comments this week, or you can put them in the Ask Me Anything thread on Ravelry, and I'd be happy to look at those next week and talk about those or answer any questions next week. I will have a giveaway next week, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. So a giveaway to celebrate the first year anniversary of this podcast. All right, now on to this series of questions. So Amy from Noble Character Crafts tagged me to answer these questions, and she was tagged by Anna Knitter to answer the questions. So we're passing these questions along. So I have reached out to a couple people on Instagram, but I will open it up to any of you. If you would like to answer these questions on your podcast, please feel free to do so. Just kind of a fun thing. And not necessarily knitting related, but most of them are. I think for me they mostly will be. But the first one is, show us your favorite Christmas present. So that's hard to say. I received lots of lovely gifts, and mostly I really just enjoyed having my whole family here. But I don't know if I will say favorite gifts. It would be hard to pick a favorite, but I'll just share a couple things. I received the Pioneer Woman cookbook, and probably lots of you have her cookbooks or have watched her. This is my first time receiving a cookbook. This is from my son's fiance, Kelsey. So thank you to Kelsey. And I really, really enjoy looking through this cookbook. And I have made one thing in here so far, and let's see if I can find it. Ah, yes. It was the ramen soup with saucy shrimp. So we made this weekend, and it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. So that was the first one I tried from there, and it was really good. So I look forward to trying some other ones. And it says super easy recipes, 120 shortcut recipes for dinners, desserts, and more. So I really do enjoy cooking. Cooking dinner and trying new recipes. So that was really fun. And the other gift I will show you, I think is very fun and unique. Jeff got this for me for Christmas. Obviously, this is the shape of Michigan, where my heart belongs to, the state where I grew up. This is a nice cutting board that he got me. I believe he found this on Etsy. So, my nice Michigan cutting board. So, those are a couple of the sweet gifts I received. Aaron, my son Aaron, got me. I shared the Harry Potter knitting book. Jenna got me some things for podcasting. My son Ryan got me things with M&Ms. That's one of my favorite candies. So, everybody was so thoughtful. My parents got me yarn. So much thoughtfulness in my family, which I really appreciate that. Number 2, new ideas or resolutions for 2022 regarding podcast, Ravelry, or Instagram. So new ideas. I would just like to see this channel continue to grow. And like I said, if you have suggestions for that, I would love to hear those, or things that you'd like to see that would appeal to people. As far as Instagram, I try to be more active on Instagram. I don't post really frequently. I mean, I guess I post every time I put up a podcast, but I'm not necessarily good about posting all of my projects, and posting stories is really new to me. So I've done it just a couple times with Jenna's help. So I think that would be good for me to try to post more frequently. I think that would be good. Let's see. What have you done in 2020? What have you done in 2021 that you've never done before? Well, started a podcast. That's really the big thing I can think of. I don't think there's anything else. Did you have a resolution for 2021, and how did you do? Well, I always have the resolution to eat healthy and lose weight. It did not do so well. Sometimes we eat healthy, sometimes we eat not so healthy. We're really good about walking in the summertime, not so much when it's cold. So as far as health resolution for 2021, not so good. But my big resolution for 2021 was to start a podcast, and I think that has been really successful. I'm really happy to have met met virtually some of you, and started a Ravelry group, hosted 3 make-alongs. We had that spring stripe make-along. Let's see, in July, it was the Merry make-along, and then the Holly Jolly make-along over the winter Christmas holidays. So I think that was really fun. Biggest achievement of the year, I guess I would say, just starting a podcast. Tell us a valuable life lesson of 2021. I would just say, given the state of everything that's going on in our world, life is fragile. So love your people fiercely. The people in your life that you cherish, your family, your friends, tell them that you love them. Cherish the times that you have with them, because life is very fragile. Let's see, if you had one word that represents last year, what would it be? I guess I would say growth, creative growth, just in terms of podcasting and my knitting and growth. Just the older I get, just, I don't know, learning new things, or learning things, or knowing that you don't know a lot of things. It's a big world out there, and just continuing to grow and learn different things. Sorry, I didn't say this was going to be very clear and precise and succinct. So I thought about these questions a little bit, but yeah. Do you want to change a bad habit in 2022? Ooh. I have a few bad habits, but I would say overspending, and that's kind of what prompted the Love Your Stash make-along. And just looking around our house at all of the things that we have. I won't say it's clutter, but it's lovely collected items that we have. And it's time to kind of rein in the spending. And I have beautiful yarn, and of course there's more beautiful yarn out there, and I'm not saying I won't buy yarn this year, because I am very certain that I will. Let's face it, I love yarn. But overspending on yarn, or overspending on, mostly yarn for me. I would also say time on social media. I definitely need to limit that. I think I'm getting better, but it's really easy to spend time on Instagram and keep scrolling, or Facebook, or I really love watching podcasts. So I figure when I'm watching podcasts, I'm also knitting. So I guess I'm kind of being productive, but I would like to limit my time on social media. Let's see. Is there something you want to achieve in 2022? I would say balance. So finding balance between my hobbies, the knitting, and I put a lot of time into my knitting and crocheting. So I guess I do need to be a little more balanced. I love to read, and I really haven't done that a whole lot. And I need to spend more time without my yarn in my hands, probably with Jeff. He doesn't see me now very much without yarn in my hands, but sometime it would probably be nice just to sit and be together. So finding a balance in my life. Do you have resolutions for 2022? Eat healthier, exercise more. How am I doing with that so far? Not great. But I definitely want to get on track. I think it's hard when I was sick the first part of this year. But I think I'm getting better on track. And so I'm trying to incorporate some more healthy meals into our food. Exercise more. I said we were really good about walking in the summertime, like every single day, but even when it's cold, we can bundle up and get outside. So we really need to do that. And declutter. That's a big thing for this year too. Just going through some things, some areas that are kind of messy, and seeing if we still need those things or if they would be better donated. We have a thrift shop in town, which is really nice to drop stuff off at. So Jeff and I, last weekend, we went through DVDs, we went through some books. So I think we are kind of saying each weekend we'll set aside some time just to pick an area and start going through that, and either, getting rid of some things or at least organizing things a little better. Let's see. And these are probably things that some of you are doing as well. Did you start doing something in 2021, a habit that you want to go with in 2022? Well, I said walking in the summer, so I would like to continue walking. I just need to get doing it, or ride my exercise bike. I have done that in the past too, so I do need to just get started doing that. Knitting resolutions. Knit from stash, buy less, and just make all of the things. I wish I was a knitting machine and that I could knit super, super fast, because there are just so many beautiful projects out there that I just want to make. So I guess that would be my knitting resolutions. The last one, most worn handmade item in 2021. It would have to be socks for sure. I wear socks, my hand knit socks every day, like November through, it'll be April, maybe even the first part of May till it gets really warm. So I love my socks. As far as sweaters, my weekender, I wear this quite a bit. And then that Autumn League pullover, that was that navy pullover I made last year. I wear that a lot too. And they're very neutral. They're just a solid color. And you're like, well, you're making that crazy sweater. I'm pointing over here. You're making that crazy sweater. But I definitely need to incorporate more just solid pieces into my wardrobe. That should maybe be a knitting resolution, to just think about knitting more solid color garments. But knowing me, I'm still going to continue to knit all of the bright, colorful things, because that's who I am, and that's really what I enjoy. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you so much. Amy, thank you for tagging me with some of those fun questions. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope you are finding time to do whatever makes you happy. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please consider asking me some questions or giving me some helpful tips or suggestions for the podcast. I would greatly appreciate that. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I'll see you all next week for the Podiversary episode. Take care.